Okay, hello everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. I'm Makiko Tatsumi from Business Development Office of ATL. We hold KGAP Plus special edition focusing on Hong Kong today. KGAP Plus is a startup acceleration program conducted by ATL. Prior to this year's regular program, we organize a series of events as a special edition with our global partners to think about both pandemic trend and encourage startups who challenge in difficult times. This webinar is co-hosted by Hong Kong Science and Technology Parks and Global Digital Module. Hong Kong startups which going to give a pitch recommended by them. In addition, Jetro is co-hosting too. We appreciate the support from all of them. Thank you very much. Let me show you today's agenda. Firstly, Dr. Suzuki from ATR will give a presentation about the KGAP Plus Special Edition. Next, Mr. Spencer Chen from Hong Kong Science and Technology Park will talk about the Hong Kong ecosystem. Followed by that, 6 startups will present their technology and service. You will see Q&A button at the Zoom app. Please send a question or comment anytime during the webinar. Presenters will answer in the Q&A window by themselves. Okay, the MC will be taking over to Dr. David Williams, he is the president and the lead digital strategist of Global Digital Module. We have been collaborated for 2 years. David, are you ready? Okay.
Yes, Maggie-san, thank you.
Yeah, please.
Thank you for your kind introduction. First of all, I'm David Williams. I've been involved with this program for the past 2 years, and I'm very happy that we can feature Hong Kong companies in today's schedule. So as Maggie said, we have presentations from our guests and then short presentations from each company. Now, just so you can understand a little of the context, we had a round of submissions earlier this year, which was called Emerge Japan. And from that round of submissions, we selected 6 companies, and they're the 6 companies that you're going to be hearing from today. We had hoped to have a face-to-face meeting and pitching in Hong Kong Science Parks in April, but thanks to the coronavirus, we haven't been able to do that, but we're so happy we can get together today online. Now, without further ado, I would like to first introduce Dr. Suzuki. Dr. Suzuki is the Vice President of ATR, Advanced Technology Research Institute in Japan, and he's coming onto the stage now. Suzuki-san, nice to see you.
Yes.
Now, welcome to you to give your presentation, and please everybody check your slide share. And I'll be right back after these words from Suzuki-san.
Are you in Taiwan or Hong Kong? Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, David-san, for your kind introduction. I'm Suzuki. So I use the coming 15 years to explain outline of our acceleration program, KGAP Plus, special edition and main program. So let me start with our basic data on COVID-19 in Japan. As of July 8th, a couple of days ago, total confirmed cases is more than 20,000, and total deaths is a bit less than 1,000. And we are asked by the government to stay at home and to avoid the 3 Cs, closed spaces, crowded places, a close contact setting. And this was made by the declaration of state of emergency in April, and it was lifted in 1 month. So the strategy seems working because the number is reducing continuously, but we are a little bit anxious about the recent increase especially in Tokyo. Yesterday, we had nationwide more than 400 newly confirmed cases, and Tokyo is more than 200 for the consecutive 4 days. But if you look at the number of critical ill patients and dead patients, the number is continuously reducing up to 35 for critically ill after peaking at the end of April, more than 300. And the number of dead patients somewhere around 0 to 2 recently, after peaking at the beginning of May at the number of 34. So Japan government is now try to balance the prevention of COVID-19 and economic activities. Startup under this COVID-19 pandemic situation should be very tough. They are losing opportunities in investments and collaborations because companies are invested or are partnering is reducing their sales in a large amount, and so they're reviewing their business plans. So their POC will be canceled or postponed. But this is the occasion to find new opportunities because the changes created by COVID-19 pandemic should be irreversible. So we need to deal with this crisis either by coping, namely doing all things in new ways, or creating. This means doing new things. So I strongly believe global collaborations are essential to achieve that. So we are said that we need to live in new normal. What does it mean? So changes in human life and business in new normal should be relevant to personal and contact-free and decentralized and digital transformation. So the innovation should be also changed, harmonized with the changes in human life and the business. So maybe we try to create a society for human. So the innovation should be social issue inspired, not by technology driven. So innovation should be created not in laboratories, but in real human life. Objective of KGAP Plus Special Edition is first to discuss and find ways to achieve innovations in human life and business in this tough period by meeting with supporters and partners and investors and customers, and share and recognize precisely the current situation in human life and business and the COVID-19 pandemic. We have started a series of KGAP Plus Special Edition events in June 11th, 1 month ago, with Israel Innovation Authority, and followed by the series of events with India, CII, and New York City, Entrepreneurs Roundtable Accelerator, Israel Innovation Authority, and then Canada last week with a National Research Council, Canada. So we are now having a similar event with Hong Kong, and that will be followed next week with Barcelona, our partner, Barcelona Activa. And we will have in July 29th, this is also online program, a KGAP Plus Day. The 10 startups with this series of events will be glorified for our main program, KGAP Plus Batch 3, together with already selected 6 companies from Japan. This is outline of KGAP Plus Batch 3. KGAP Plus Batch 3 is scheduled starting at July 28th and finished in 3 months. And the selected maybe 5 startups will be not taken, but but maybe web event with Barcelona Activa to expand your business in Barcelona. So KGAP Plus has been achieved under the global collaboration and the cooperation network we have established during the last 3 years. And we take 4 districts, Barcelona, Israel, New York, and Canada as our core partners. And KGAP Plus set a POC or pilot testing with Japanese companies or sometimes a hospital as a goal. And the program will be carried out both online and offline, but this time maybe totally online and accessible to our global partners. And global companies participate totally 19, 8 coming from Japan and other 11 coming outside Japan. And we had 3-month program for batch 1 and batch 2, and the selected startups were either taken to Barcelona or New York City to expand their business in globally. As regards collaboration with Hong Kong, David San and Spencer San acted as juries of our programs, batch 1 and 2, and also acted as mentors and helped us to select startups that was taken to New York City and Barcelona. This is a list of companies participated in KGAP Plus batch 1. There are 5 companies coming outside Japan and 5 companies coming inside Japan. And actually, 2 startups, Astem and Hakalus, participated in elevator pitch of Hong Kong Science and Technology Park last year. We had demo day in 3 months later at the occasion of Kyoto Smart City Expo held in October 3rd and 4th, and we selected 4 companies that was taken to Barcelona. And then, as I mentioned, we set a POC with Japanese companies and hospital as the goal of our acceleration program. Actually, 8 startups out of 10 have started or are planning POCs. There are 4 examples that was achieved during the 3 months. For instance, together, the Israel startups was made a POC with Gakentos Hospital, that was the core hospital of Keiana Science City, in the field of music therapy for patients with dementia. We take 4 startups to Barcelona, and we had our own booth together with Mojo, and we had 3 pitching events. But what was great was Barcelona Activa worked quite hard, so prepared a 22 B2B meeting for startups, so that the startups scored full marks for this event. This is a list of startups participated in batch 2. Also, 8 startups coming outside Japan and 3 startups coming inside Japan. And after 3 months, we had the demo day at the occasion of Innovation Stream Kansai 2019, and we selected 5 startups that was taken to ELA in New York City to expand their business in New York City. These are the example of POC. 7 startups have started and are planning POCs out of 11 companies, and other 2 startups have established their business model. So our POC acted quite well, so you can expect, you can also do a POC together with Japanese companies and hospitals if you participate in our program. That's it. So we take 5 startups to ELA, New York City, and had a 1-week very tough special boot camp in New York City in March. This includes a pitching training and the mentoring, group and solo, and workshop and demo day. Unfortunately, a pandemic started in New York also. Our demo day a little bit smaller, carried out in a smaller scale, but startups were satisfied with this event and scored 4.7, 4.6 out of 5.0. So what we try to achieve is to realize this type of 2-dimensional relationships in which Keihana Research Complex, Keihana Science City, is acting as a hub to connect, for instance, Hong Kong to not only Japan, but also USA to be invested or to find the partners in USA or Canada or Barcelona, even Israel. So we will have, in 5 years, a very big event, Expo 2025, held in Osaka and Kansai, including Keihano Science City. And the Keihano Science City is expected to play a major role to do POC with living people in the real residence, and also exhibit state-of-the-art technology in this event. Okay, so thank you very much once again, Hong Kong Science Technology Park, Spencer-san, and the Global Digital Module, David-san, for co-hosting this event today. And for 6 startups, enjoy this event, and I hope you have a good success. Thank you.
Suzuki-san, thank you so much for that presentation. Also to share some of the context of today's event around coronavirus. Now, I'd like to ask our next speaker, Spencer Chan from Hong Kong Science Technology Parks. Spencer is a longtime collaborator with us in Hong Kong, and as Suzuki-san said, he's been a great support to the KGAP Plus program last year as both mentor and judge. And Spencer is going to be sharing more about Hong Kong Science Technology Park's work in the area of innovation ecosystems. Spencer, over to you.
Thanks. Thanks, everyone. Hi, everyone. So happy to join this amazing event. And we have been planning for this event for some time already. And also, of course, a big thank you to Suzuki-san and for inviting me to join the KGAP Plus program. And of course, it's to give more chances to really to the whole ecosystem, not just the Hong Kong teams, but the worldwide teams, and then to leverage on this good platform and then to go global. So in the next 15 minutes, I'll just go through a couple of very important elements that for you to make a wise decision on how to plan for your global expansion, particularly during this COVID-19 situation. So I'll focus it in 5 different areas, including the market, and then where you get your investment money. And then after you're getting the investment money, how do you utilize the fund and then for your growth of the company, and then of course make a wise cost estimation, and finally I'll bring you to a virtual tour of the Hong Kong Science Park. So let's get started. So the first of all, it's today we have all the different teams. We have the teams from Hong Kong as well, all my old good friends, the faces. So everyone, it should be one dot around this world. But for me, if we focus on the Hong Kong today, so we must have a good market, and then why do we choose Hong Kong or even China? So the area that I recommend today is the One Belt, One Road initiative. So this One Belt, One Road covering 60 countries in the world, 63% of the world population, and almost 30% of the world's wealth. So we know that this is the fast growing, this is the engine of the whole world, including the whole APEC region, and then of course the Middle East, and also part of the Europe and China. So we know that this market, it's a good place to do investment and then put my ventures in. But where do we start? So the solution I give today is the Greater Bay Area. So which is on the southern tip part of China, talking about 1% of the Chinese total land area, 5% of the population of China, but 13% of GDP. So just imagine if you are going for global expansion, you will go to a place like Latvia, like Ireland, but you are talking about the whole business volume. It's big as Australia, as big as Spain. So this is an unprecedented like business opportunities for basically all the different companies you can consider. So we know that we need to go to the Greater Bay Area, but in what sectors that we'll be focusing in? So we'll have 6. So including innovation technology, green business, finance, infrastructure logistics, tourism, and healthcare. So if today in the all the audience and also the teams that are going to present today, if you are in these categories, do think about this Greater Bay Area and how to expand your global business. So of course, we need to talk about Hong Kong. So just today, Hong Kong, we've got a lot of stuff and then to talk about these days. But I just bring three important messages today. So first, Hong Kong is the world's #1 offshore renminbi, which is the Chinese dollar, the Chinese yuan clearing center. So that means if you are really like planning your business and then going into China, so Hong Kong basically is the most ideal, or if not the unique place to do the RMB clearing for your business. Second, Hong Kong is Asia's #2 foreign exchange market, so which has a strong growth since 2016, about 44% of growth, which means that if you bring your own money from your own country, and then Hong Kong is one of the most ideal location after China, and then to do the foreign exchange of your currency into other currency for doing business. And the third point is Hong Kong is the world's #3 foreign direct investment location. So which means if you're going to invest in China or some other place within the One Belt One Road, so Hong Kong always remain to be a very competitive foreign direct investment location. So now we know the market. So the next thing, it's always, we've been talking about Hong Kong as the global financial center, if not China's alone, the international financial center. So Hong Kong has a lot of money, hot money, but where are we going to find the money? And am I eligible for that money? So we've done a research. In the past 5 years, we picked the top 600 Hong Kong investors. So the total they have invested in, it's more than $4.7 billion on a total of 2,678 investments made. So there are numerous, the number is very big, but am I eligible? In what stage that investment will come into my company? So out of those 2,600 investments, so totally there are 3,000 portfolios companies invested by these 600 investors. So ranging from early stage to seed to late stage, M&A, IPO, and some family office and private equities. So what else? What are the key industries that Hong Kong investors are very, very interested in? So we've picked the top 10 industries invested by those 600 investors. So including the top 10, so basically software, hardware, internet, fintech, biotech, AI, etc. So these, if you are in those industries and sectors, do come to Hong Kong and then to raise funds. And of course, for today, we're bringing up two funds which are under the buckets of the Hong Kong Science and Technology Parks. So on your right here, on your right, we have the HKSTP Ventures. So we are interested in seed to Series A stage companies. We do one-to-one matching, funding up to $1 million per deal per company. So we founded this ventures, this fund in 2015, and the leverage is about 13 times. So usually our investment period is around 2 years. So that means today I put $1 in your company. In 2 years' time, your company it's going to expand for 13 times in 2 years' time. And so far we have 22 co-investors joining this fund. So these are some of the companies that we have been invested in. The other one is called the, on your left-hand side. So it's called the Hong Kong BAN, Hong Kong Business Angel Network. So we are part of this angel network. So basically, literally, it's a quite exhaustive list of business angels in Hong Kong. So we're covering the early stage investment. So just in the past 2 fiscal years, a total of 21.89 billion Hong Kong dollars have been raised. So below, you will see a number of the business angel investors in Hong Kong. So now we have the money. So you get the money, you get the investments, and then the next thing is how do you use the money and then to grow? So according to a Vanzi website, so they did a valuation versus funding size for different from seed round to Series C. So you can see an exponential curve that is going. It's very natural. What I want to say today, it's in Hong Kong, we have different programs which will very customized to the different stage of your growth. From a seed round, so it's 1 year program called STEP, and then to 2 year for application, 3 year for core deep tech, and then bio, and then we have accelerators, acceleration program, and finally we have some fund which is going to match with potential unicorn companies in Hong Kong. And of course, we have different programs also from the Science Park, which is to help and accelerate these companies. So we did a program called the IDM Square, Idea, Design, Manufacture, and Market. So it's for your product prototyping. So if you have an idea, do come to Hong Kong and then to materialize it, because we are very strong in the Greater Bay Area for light manufacturing, for doing the molding and also the prototyping of your products back in Shenzhen and also in the Guangdong province. So also we have numerous global partners, and then we cooperate together. We call the Global Acceleration Academy. So basically we work with conglomerates in Hong Kong and also Greater Bay Area, and then for them to give out some industry problems, and then for the startup teams to make their ideas and then pitch to these conglomerates. So this is one of our key programs within the Hong Kong Science Park. And then not to mention today here, so we always see this logo, the Hong Kong HKSTP Inno Express. So basically Inno Express is an express program helping overseas companies to really to land in the Greater Bay Area via Hong Kong. So in the different colored hexagons, you have the 11 different questions or big problems that big hurdles that you are going to overcome. And as the Hong Kong Science Park, we offer you the network, the vast network of all these logos around. And if you're going to come to Hong Kong, do find HKSTP, and during your journey in Hong Kong, we will help you to conquer all these different networks, and it'll help you to successfully landing in this part of the world. So now you grow to a certain size of the company. So in terms of like the growth, so I need to really to give you an assumption. So first of all, we ask your company to really to stay in your home country because you have your local advantage. What we are saying today now, it's for you to think about your global expansion and setting up a subsidiary or branch outside your local country and then into Hong Kong. So basically, I'm just assuming you are going to set up a branch office. So first of all, you hire your general manager for your Hong Kong subsidiary office, and then you fly that person from your country. And then this person, he's going to rent a 20 square meters studio flat for him to stay in Hong Kong. He loves music and sports, and food and beer as well. And of course, he needs an office. Say, for example, gets a 50 square meters office, hiring 4 local engineering team, and then for him to do around 2 to 3 years initially, the research and development work, the R&D work. So basically, this is a very standard, normal setup in Hong Kong. So if I have an office like this size and then doing the R&D work, so what sort of like cost that we're going to spend? So the 3 parts: the office, the R&D activities, and also the personal expense of the general manager. So here I just list out some very top line cost items. Of course, you need to go to me, and then we do all the tiny calculations. So from the office, the R&D activities, and then the personal expense. So just from my rough estimation, so before you get any subsidy, you need to raise a $400,000 in order for you to set up in the first year in Hong Kong. But the next slide, I'm showing you that after applying the subsidy you received from the Hong Kong government and also the Science Park, and also some of the activities that can get a tax rebate. Let's see what you can save. So for the 4 engineering staff locally hired in Hong Kong, you will get a total reimbursement free of charge for that amount. Your R&D spending, Hong Kong government is going to subsidize you 70% of your R&D work. So that means you only need to pay 30% of your total R&D spending. For prototyping, making your hardware, and then making your IoT products, for prototyping, free of charge. Science Park will pay for you. For tax, in Hong Kong, we just have one tax, which is a 16.5% of your total net profit. So if you're going to spend in Hong Kong on R&D, you're going to get a 200 to 300% of tax rebate from your R&D expenditure to your revenue, for your total revenue. So in that case, in this ideal scenario, even the tax is free tax. You don't need to pay anything to the Hong Kong government. So let's see. The amount is dropped by over 73%. So you just need to pay less than 100,000 Hong Kong dollars. You can set up a local office in Hong Kong with 4 engineering staff doing your R&D work. So hopefully this gives you a rough picture of how you're going to spend and how you're going to make the decisions if you are really like planning to go to this one belt, one road, and then to target this market. So of course, last but not least, we're talking about the expectation setting. So, okay, very nice PowerPoint. So what next? It's, you'll find our HKSTP colleagues from the business development team. So you need to propose your 2 to 3 year plan for what you're going to do in Hong Kong, how you're going to hire the people, the local engineer into your subsidiary office, and what type of like customization and R&D work that you're going to plan, and then how it's going to happen. So these are the very crucial points that we're going to help you, and then to have a good solution and then cost-effective solution to land in Hong Kong. So finally, I'll show you a very short video of our campus. So because hopefully all these teams, I should be inviting you all to Hong Kong, but today I just give you a sneak peek of the Hong Kong Science Park. So. So, thank you very much. ありがとうございました. Thank you. David, you need to unmute yourself.
Thank you so much, Spencer, for your presentation. I can certainly vouch for what you're saying around the ease of setting up business in Hong Kong and the support that companies can get. I set up in Hong Kong 12 years ago with Mojo, so I'm a good case study for that. Now, that's our 2 guests. Thank you so much to Suzuki-san and to Spencer. Now it's time to hand over to our 6 companies. Now, I hope, guys, as you've been listening to the 2 presentations, you've picked up some of the themes which we're addressing today. So certainly we are innovators, we are creating new businesses in a particular context. And Suzuki-san has highlighted the coronavirus situation in Japan and in the wider world. And as you're presenting, I want you just to keep in your mind how your particular business, your particular innovation, your particular way of looking at your industry could be helpful or beneficial to the challenges the world is facing at the moment. And who knows, you may have the chance to run a proof of concept in Japan as part of the KGAP Plus program. So with that being said, I'm going to first pass over to our first presenter. Each company has 5 minutes. If the audience out there, if you have any questions, please do share via the chat window in Zoom. The presenters can see that, and they may pick up on some of the questions as they come in. Also, I will be keeping my eye on that window as well. So let's start with our first company, which is Film Players Limited. They're going to be sharing up their slides right now.
Hi.
Hi there, Toby. Over to you. Yeah, we can hear you perfectly. Please go ahead.
Hi, Hajimaster. Thank you, Japan. Thank you, David. Thank you, Hong Kong Science Park. And I'm Toby Yorosku. And my partner here is Kelvin.
Hi.
So before the presentation, I would like to explain first our product. This is the film, what we are doing. And we are the only company in Hong Kong doing smart film R&D. So we simply explain what we are doing first. This is the film attached to the glass. And I show you some simple example for the sample. And then, can you see? Okay. And then the glass become a simple display. And what's more is, once attached the film could be a clock. So this is what we are doing now with some hospital, with some car company in Hong Kong. So we go to the presentation now. Okay, so we are Film Players. I'm Toby, the founder and CEO of Film Players. So basically, our major core members is from 2 universities in Hong Kong. And I was a chemical engineer a long time ago in Samsung, focused to the display. And actually last year, we have a chance to meet in Japan. We have one advisor in Japan, Mr. Shimani, who is the OCFO of SoftBank. But unfortunately, the Olympic has been delayed. So our focus in Japan also has been delayed. And I found this is a good chance this time we can explore our worldwide market and as well as Japan. So we joined Hong Kong Science Park 3 years ago, and we get different awards in Hong Kong, including the LEAP. The LEAP is Hong Kong Science Park bought 4% option of my company. And we get some international award, including the Cathay Pacific one. And you can see our company profile in CX, Facebook, and the LinkedIn. Okay, so in these few years, many of Hong Kong local magazine has coverage my company, including last year, the Forbes Asia. And this is our customer base mainly in Hong Kong now. So you can see we do with the subway, we do with the hospital, we do with the Hong Kong airport, we do different university developers. And these are all our real customers. It's not just POC, we get some real PO. And explain to our product. Basically, we have 2 kinds of product. First is the privacy, second is the digital. For the privacy one, maybe you can see in the market already, and there are a few famous companies in Japan as well. But we are the only one so far doing some big project. Like the video, this one is like 3.8 meters long, and it's quite a long and big glass and film. But we are the only one in the market. We give different options to customer. In the market, mostly is you give power and make it clear. But we can have an option to customer. You can choose without power and make it clear. And so far, we are the only one doing it in Hong Kong. Second thing is we do some small apartment. I think it's also can benefit in Japan, because the apartment size in Japan and in Hong Kong is also very small. So that we take this as an example. It's very a very small apartment, we can do all the film on the glass as partition. And this month, Toyota also announced the new integration to their new Harrier model using the smart glass. So that we think in Japan, we can have a big benefit to the market. And another one is what we are doing is the digital one. I think we are the only one also doing it in Hong Kong or as well as Japan. So with the IoT, with the cloud, with our own server, the film could be a simple display, showing the time, showing the weather today, to replace curtain, and it could be a digital display as well. And what's more is we can use 5 volt to drive our product. So like this, using the power bank, our product can be active. Second is we're doing some school project. We can make use of the all the glass in the school, so that the space could be more effective and the film could be writable. So it functions. A whiteboard, people can write on it, so that it could be square to write everything you want. So in Hong Kong, we are doing different schools and universities. So our future plan is quite interesting. I think we will implement some 5G technology to the film. We will make the film as an antenna. So that this is our next step. We are going to try this year. And I think in Japan, the technology could integrate with our product together to make a bigger things. So thank you very much.
Wonderful, Toby. Thank you so much. We're going to come back maybe with some questions on your product a little later, but I'd like to move on to the next presenter so we make sure everybody gets their good time. Thanks so much, Toby. Next up, we have EasyTest.
Hi.
Hi there. And who do we have presenting for EasyTest?
Yes.
Do you share up your screen? There we go. And put yourself onto full screen.
Yeah.
Okay, your 5 minutes starts now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you everyone for having me in this pitching. I'm Eunice from EasyTest Company Limited. Product testing is mandatory before your product launch. And in 2018, the total revenue of testing industry in Japan is $12 billion. It is important to evaluate the product safety in order to protect the consumers as well as the company. And we have do a research for a whole year by investigating what is the market needs in testing and certification. We have interviewed the major stakeholders in the supply chain. And we found that many of the manufacturers, they have innovative ideas. They are very good at designing their product, but in testing and certification, some of them even do not know it is necessary before their product launch and mass production. They found that the procedure is very complicated and there are lack of consultancy from the laboratories. The pricing and testing service is non-transparent in the market, and it is time-consuming for them to do comparison in order to control the quality as well as the budget. So that we would like to implement IoT and AI technologies in testing and certification industry. We would like to help the manufacturers through our first product, EasyTest Note. It is an application platform that we allow the consumers and manufacturers to search the standard requirements with high efficiency and high accuracy. Comparing to traditional searching or by Google search, it is way more effective. It is also a unique and new idea in testing and certification industry. We will allow them to search and fill in the product categories, the product type, and also they need to fill in their product features and the region they are exporting to, so that we can use AI technology in our backbone to search the database and do laboratory comparison for them to do price comparison and test surface comparison. so that we help them to simplify the procedures in testing and help them to reduce test consultancy fee, the test cost, and free their time and manpower in doing testing and certification. We help them to save up to 50% of testing costs. And we are not only helping the manufacturers, we also help the laboratories through our second product, EasyTest Note. It is an enhanced integration platform that we can generate the data and get the data directly from the testing equipment in order to generate a complete report automatically instead of doing it manually. It is way more low cost and low lead time by manual testing.
Testing and certification industry is well known for its high cost. Introducing to you EasyTest AutoFlow. Provides graphical on-the-job training to new test engineer. Tests are automatized to release engineers' time for handling more jobs. It generates worksheet and report automatically to reduce time wasting paperwork. By using AutoFlow, 1/3 of the cost is reduced and 66% testing capacity is raised. EasyTest. Make lab testing easier.
And for the EasyTest Note, we will not charge the manufacturer. We will use free for them to use our product, and we will charge the laboratory for advertisement and project fee. And for the EasyTest AutoFlow, we will charge the laboratories based on their number of members and the number of standards they need to update. We expect to have 1 million in the second year through 2 of our products. And this is our very talented team. We have our technical director, Norton. He is very experienced in testing and certification industry. He also served the government and the university. And managing director, Jeans, is very experienced in running business and startup companies. I'm a student from the Open University of Hong Kong, studying testing and certification. Last but not least, Ben is our experienced engineer specializing in EMC testing. We are very glad that we have lots of collaboration with the international organization and the Open University of Hong Kong for doing research collaboration and developing 2 of our products. Our product can truly help the industry and the manufacturers with our extensive experience in TNC industry. And we have dedicated consultancy service and collaboration with the international organization, the government, and also the Hong Kong Science and Technology Park. And we are ready to have business matching and provide testing and certification service in Japan. We will be very grateful if we can have training opportunities through this program. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Eunice, for your presentation.
Thank you.
A very important stage in any commercialization of a startup. And also to hear that you are a student, so great job. Now let's continue on to our next presentation. And a reminder to the audience: if you have a question, you can drop into the Q&A box. We have one question here that we're waiting for film players, which we'll come back to later. And in the meantime, let's move over to our third company, which is Earth Tatva. Demonstrating the international nature of businesses in Hong Kong. Earth Tatva, are you there?
Yes. Hi, how are you?
Hi, good to see you. I hand over to you now.
Thank you for having us here. So our company is Earth Tatva, and I'm Shashank Nimkar, the founder and CEO of it. So basically how we came up with this idea was that archaeology is something that is based on an idea where ceramic doesn't biodegrade at all. We excavate these ancient places and we find these vessels made out of ceramics, and they haven't been biodegraded for centuries. And we thought something needs to be done about this, because companies today are facing serious issues about what to do with their production waste. They're coming up with tons of waste and wasting natural resources, and it's a non-renewable resource then. It's irreversible reactions once we fire ceramics. So what if we are able to convert this waste into a reusable material and continue our operations as they are and making new products by using lesser material? So essentially doing more and better with less. And So this was my graduation project 2 years back for my master's program, and I've been recognized as a circular economy pioneer by the Ellen MacArthur Foundation in London for this work. And I'm also an ambassador for the World Design Organization for the Young Designers Circle. So these are our MVPs for our products. And so how it goes is that we convert this non-reusable fired ceramic waste into a reusable material which can be molded into any products. And we start with ceramics because we start with tableware because tableware is the only ceramic product which a consumer chooses to buy themselves. There's no middleman who can influence their decision making, and it's very intimate to use it on a daily basis. Plus we use these wares to host our guests, and it helps us to propagate the idea of sustainable living through these products being talk triggers. And we got this material tested by CGCRI, which is the Central Glass and Ceramic Research Institute. And they reported this material to be 35% stronger than our traditional ceramics. And it also uses lesser energy to fire. So with this, we are able to reduce mining for natural resources by up to 60 to 70% and use lower energy to fire this. And because we are using clay as a natural material, which acts as a binder for this waste, we are essentially working with monomaterial because clay, after we fire it, it becomes ceramics. So we are able to reuse our production waste again and again for many production cycles in a closed loop zero waste manufacturing process, and hence directly support SDG 12, which is responsible consumption and production. And because this is a universal material and not a product in itself, now because we know it's also better than our traditional ceramics, we also look forward to make architectural applications with these materials so that it's also functionally better than existing materials. It's environmentally better, and it's also economically viable because this material can be used in our conventional methods and processes without change in new machinery or technology. So it's becomes more affordable for everyone to use. So this is our model that we have turned linear ceramic production into a more circular process, which reduces mining and energy consumption. So this has a threefold impact in terms of its benefits. First, the industries get get rid of their production waste, which they have been dumping and landfilling since decades. So the soil also gets rejuvenated through its freeing and oxygen passing through it, and the users get much better products. And plus the aesthetics of these products is at par or even better with traditional products. So usually people refrain from using recycled products as they say that recycled products don't look as good as virgin material products, and they don't fit in their lifestyle. But they can do this without changing their lifestyle and use better products and save environment at the same time. And of course the environment gets saved by reducing mining by 60%. So there's a huge scope for the recycling industry because it's said that if we dump a 10,000 tons of waste, it only generates 6 employments, while if we recycle a 10,000 ton waste, we give opportunity to 36 employment. And the market is showing a big response to this because the tableware market in India and otherwise has been a really untapped market. If we approach through tableware, we can expand into various other segments of the ceramic industry as well. And so we have been covered by various revered publications since past 2 years, including the top design magazine called the Pool magazine. And we have been having inquiries from some top brands in terms of luxury product brands in India called Fab India and the Reliance Industries. And our MVP is ready. So it makes us easier to provide our solution to various people in different industries. And the roadmap that we wish to follow is that we establish the brand in the early years, and then we turn towards from retail sale, we turn towards hospitality business because of these COVID crisis, they need more innovation, more value addition to their customers these days. So this is a bigger value addition because every business wants to turn towards a eco-friendly business. And plus these days we need to really sanitize all the products that we use. So ceramic is the best material to be used with our edibles because it doesn't leach in any of our edibles, and plus it's very easy to clean. The layer of glaze that we have on ceramics is actually a layer of glass, so which is the most inert material to have our food in. And then we can export our products to different markets. And it also, of course, gives a lot of opportunity for job creation across skilled and unskilled sectors. That's it. Thank you. Over to you, David.
That was Earth Tadva. Thank you very much for your presentation. We're going to now move on to our fourth company. If you could get ready. Our fourth company is focusing on customization. This is Customize Limited, and over to you.
Hello, is everything okay?
Yeah, looks good. Please go ahead.
Okay. So nice to have a presentation here. So our company is called Customize Limited. So what we are focusing is AI in smart construction. So there are three major problems that we are trying to solve here for the construction industry. First one is productivity. And the last 25 years, construction industry has not been increased in any productivity comparing to manufacturing industry that has increased more than 60 to 70%. But construction, because the market nature, labor cost is increasing every year, it has not been any increase. Second problem we are trying to solve is the project delay. So 98% of construction projects is being delayed because there's no digital data that you can try to maximize the schedules and the operation. And there's no automatizations that being implemented in the construction areas right now. So third problems that we're trying to solve is workplace injury. So one fatal injury in the construction costs more than $1 million US. So what we are trying to solve is by AI, we are trying to help to improve the safety environments for the workers. So today, more than 80% of construction sites already have real-time monitoring. So they are using it for the security purpose, and we are using exactly the same systems by using AI, computer vision technologies to improve safety, productivity, and quality in the construction sites. So everything's being monitored today, either by the safety officer or by the by human. Is all very late in terms of the data, and the data accuracy is very low. So by using AI, we can increase the accuracy, and also it can be running 24/7. So our company last year was the top 100 construction technology company in the world. So we are the top 100 in terms of what we do for the construction area. So the products that we call it is called VX.AI. So it's basically a computer cloud platforms that you can easily connect to any CCTV cameras on the construction site using our pre-built AI engines and modules. Then you can detect different events, objects around the construction areas to improve safety and productivity and quality. So here are some of the clients that we have. We are not already bypassed the POC stage, so all our clients is like real deployment. We start the company in 2016, and all these clients that we have built around like Asia is actually started in 2006, 17, and 18. So we are working only with the largest construction, not only the largest construction company in the region, but also some of the international like property developers and government units. So talking about the construction cloud, these are the three things that we are focusing. We are trying to detect workers, equipment, and materials. So for workers, we are detecting their safety, their productivity, and counting what type of works that they're doing. For the equipment, we are counting not only the machinery, but also all the vehicles around the construction site. For materials, we are tracking not only the locations, but also the arrival time, if there's any delay for the material arrival. So talking about the number of modules we have one module called the safety module. So basically detecting different PPE around the construction area. So here's one example of how we do. So whenever we detect, using AI technology to detect if there's any workers not wearing safety PPE such as helmet and jacket, we give like a mobile alert to different stakeholders through our platform. The second example we are doing, we are not only detecting the jacket itself, but also we are recognizing the pattern of the helmet. So you can see the red dot, the dots here is like on the top of the helmet. So we are by tracking the patterns and also the colors of the helmets and the jacket, we can identify which company they work for as well. So this is more advanced in terms of our AI capabilities. And we have the second module for the danger zone. So basically what we do is we try to avoid human and machinery collision like this, so to avoid accidents. So there's two ways that we can do it. One is by fixing the camera around the machinery. So whenever there's a worker walking into this like red zone, then we give an alert to the operator. So what we can see like in a fixed camera is like multiple detection. We call this a very unique AI for detecting multiple stuff in one camera. So we can detect the vehicles, we can detect the machinery, we can detect the worker, not only the time getting in the zone, but also the numbers. Here's another example in terms of how to draw the zone. We are using a traffic cone. So whenever the workers are moving the traffic cone, then we can automatically define the danger zone as well. So there's another levels that we can make the AI much smarter and more dynamic. There's another way we can do it for the danger zone is putting the cameras on the machine itself. So here's an example, like workers, once they get too close to the machines, then it can be sending alert to the operators. So our AI smart detection is much smarter than the other generic like IoT sensor, because you don't require the workers to vary any IoT variable. So any workers that coming into the zones, then we get an alert. And also we can identify different objects around the machines as well, not only the traffic cone, the humans, the dog and cat, and we can define different zones and give different alert in different time. So here's a real-life examples like how you deploy the solution. So in the orange area, you see this is a warning zone. In the red area, this is a fatal zone. So whenever there's workers that walking too close, then we start to give an alert. So here's another example how we leverage on the AI to improve safety. So by here, we are tracking two things. One is by gesture detection, we are tracking if this operator is being distracted. So whenever this worker is looking up and on the sign more than 5 seconds, we set we define this worker is being distracted. And also in this red area, this is the danger zone. So whenever there's a worker walking into this area, we start to give an alert to the operator so he can pay attention. So the third module we have is productivity. We are tracking the construction progress here. So by just taking a snapshot, we can track different construction progress by pattern recognition in the AI. So there's some modules that we can achieve as well in our AI engine. And we are also tracking the workers. So by combining two data together, we can track number of workers in different construction progress. The other module we have is machinery. So back to 2017, we are the first company in Asia that doing AI in smart construction. So we are tracking dump truck like in and out, and this is for them to calculate the fee for the construction work. So here is another more recent examples of how we define the module. So we can identify the identity of the car plate, whether the cover is being closed or not. So when so our AI is very smart in terms of like how we define the detail. So when the cover is being closed, then we can identify it's being closed, and we can define different like vehicles and whether this is like a dump truck, is non-soil, everything. So here we have the last module, which is called the material. So we are basically tracking illegal dumping construction waste in the construction area. So our AI is very smart in terms of detecting different objects. So here you can see we are not only detecting the human, but even the car plate, but also including different types of garbage, right? So these are for construction waste. So here's an example how we deploy in the construction site. We just deploy the cameras like in each container here. Whenever there's a worker dumping different objects here, we start to give another. So our core technologies is here. The AI park is on cloud. We also provide some local AI processors to facilitate the implementation in the construction area. You can connect with any camera, any even mobile phone, and we after the AI detection, we can give an alert API to different systems and a dashboard that you can download. So here's how it looks if you are logging into our web platform. You can download the videos, you can see the dashboard, you can like add in different modules. Okay, so that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very interesting application. Gary, we'll come back to you a little later. Do keep an eye on the Q&A panel for any questions that come in as people have reflected on your presentation. And just a reminder to all of the audience, if you want to reach the presenters directly, just drop your question into the Q&A box. If you don't do that and drop it into the chat window, I will move it over to them anyway and discuss, but it will be faster just to drop it into the Q&A box. Okay, let's move on to our fifth presenter. If you could get yourselves ready. Okay, and our fifth presenter is Connect AR Limited. Over to you.
Hi everyone. はじめまして、よろしくお願いします。 Yeah, I lived 1 year in Japan over 20 years ago. I was a research intern in Mitsubishi Kagaku, so it was a fantastic time. So me personally, always have a strong tie to Japan and the Japanese culture. So yeah, without further ado, my name is Ricky again, and I'd first like to show you a short video of what our solution, SnapPop, is all about.
Hello, my name is Leo Lau. I'm the CEO of SnapPop. We're dedicated to help companies transform physical world to become digitally enabled.
Ricky, could you just increase the video a little the sound a little on the video?
Sorry, no sound?
Yeah, very quiet. Just pump up.
Okay, yep.
Spaces and any physical objects. That's right, starting with your business card. But obviously, we don't just stop there. If you want to find out more, please visit our website. Together, let's make our world inactive.
Yeah, I think after this is just music. So, but just to, our product is a very visual product. So I just want to start by giving you guys some visual examples. So this is the augmented reality as applied on the business cards, product visualization. And even for gaming. Yeah, and one more example about product visualization. In this case, is used in architecture and floor plans. I'll stop the video right there, and then now start to go into our presentation. Okay, so here we go. I hope everyone can see the slides okay. And yeah, again, we are called the SnapPop. So we are a company that is trying to create a digitally interactive world. So yeah, just to talk about the type of customers that we have local companies in Hong Kong, and also advertising agencies who partner with us. Of course, Science Park was one of our customers before, and we also entered and have gained awards in different types of contests. One that I should mention that seems to be missing here is our award in retail innovation in Hong Kong, as a lot of retailers do see value in our SnapPop product, using our SnapPop to like scan a product and then get more information, and also do reordering, etc. So let me go into the details a little more. So SnapPop is a platform that enables offline to online interactions, and we could divide them into two main different usages. So on the left, you see physical spaces, and on the right, you see physical objects. Well, we'll expand into more examples later on, but one benefit of using our SnapPop platform is that we can appear to the user as just an app on their smartphone. So you don't need the user to install anything, no IoT sensors or anything like that. And if you want to use a physical space, no installation required. We're just using computer vision and image recognition technologies to make a physical space or a physical object interactive. And the second thing about our platform is that we liberate these type of digital interactions to more retailers, to more customers, to our business customers, because we have already built 36 different digital interactions So you can think of them as templates that you can start with, and that these templates makes it very easy for advertisers, for venue owners, for restaurants to use our technologies very easily. So here's one example of where we use it in the physical space. So this is in the atrium of a shopping mall in Hong Kong. They have built this ramen noodle installation in the middle of their courtyard in the open area in the shopping mall. But people can use the SnapPop app to scan that big bowl of ramen, and then that will trigger a AR game, and they can, shoppers can play with that AR game for like say 10 to 20 seconds, and then afterwards, if they score above a certain point, they can earn a coupon, a discount coupon for one of the 20 different stores in the shopping mall. So that really creates a digital interaction with the shoppers who visit that mall. And similarly, we can do that with merchandises. Yakuruto, of course, is a very famous drink in Hong Kong. And we have done a marketing campaign with them where when they launched a new product in Hong Kong, shoppers, consumers can just use the SnapPop app, scan the bottle of Yakuruto, and then it would trigger the it's not a lucky draw, it's a selfie contest. So what they did was that people can choose different types of photo frames, take a selfie, submit to Facebook, and enter the contest at the same time. And then at the end, Yakuruto chose some winners to give out prizes. And I think one of the prizes would be to actually visit their headquarters in Japan. So again, through the SnapPop app, we made the whole journey very seamless and also very interesting, and they can all start from a physical object. So the values that we try to provide in our app is to, through AR technology and also other types of technology, to improve the user experience. But at the same time, we identify the VIPs, like people who are really interested in your product, who would take the active step of scanning your product, scanning in the venue. And then as the next step, we can do a retargeting, because these shoppers, they might be only in your venue for, say, 5 minutes, but after they have left your venue, your shopping mall, your store, currently there's no way for you to reach back to them, to retarget them. But SnapPop would connect the shopping mall with the users. So for example, in that ramen noodle case for that shopping mall, if the user has scanned that ramen noodle, and let's say if that user has also scanned a poster about a new pair of sneakers, a new pair of shoes, then next week, if there's a new promotion that's happening in the shopping mall, our technology, our platform can actually notify those people who have shown interest in sports shoes, in sneakers, and push them a coupon. And throughout all that, through different types of user interactions, we can actually gather behavioral data from all the users and do further analysis to improve the operation of a shopping mall or to improve the operations of a brand. So again, like we use different types of technologies to achieve that, but we try to make it as simple for the user as possible. So we start with computer vision. We also use beacons where it's needed, but it's not a mandatory technology piece for our solution. And of course, we use GPS as needed, and then we can gather all that to analyze the user behavior. So far, we have mainly applied our platform in the advertisement space. We applied it to a lot of advertisements. For example, the one of the biggest out-of-home advertising company called Roadshow in Hong Kong. We are a partner with them. They specialize in offline ads, and we specialize in enabling their offline ads to make them digitally interactive. So I'll talk more about publications because as David mentioned, we can talk a little bit more about COVID-19, and I think I have that in the next slide. Yes. So we have been expanding our SnapPop platform for home learning use. We found 4 partners in which are 4 kindergartens in Hong Kong who are interested to work with us, and then we submitted a joint application to a government program that encourages nonprofits to try our technology. So what this does is that we can enable students at home to simply scan a page of their textbook or of their reading material, and then they can already hear narration or explanations from their teachers. And it is a crowdsourcing platform in the way that even though in one kindergarten, maybe there are like 5 classes, even though they all used the same textbook, but the 5 different classes, which have 5 different teachers, they can record their own, those 5 teachers can record their own explanations, their own stories, their own narrations specific to that page. So that means the kids at home can still continue their home learning with the familiarity of their own teachers, but while being also at the safety of their own home, and also listens to customized learning materials. So that's a big push that we're trying to do in the COVID-19 world right now. So a little bit about our team. I'll talk about myself. I have done an internship in Japan that was very rewarding for me, but I studied in Canada, and I worked in the US and Canada, and now in Hong Kong, mainly in the IT or software consultancy space. But we have advisors who are not only in IT, but in marketing and other areas as well. So to recap, our vision is to enable venues, physical spaces, and products to become a digitally interactive world. That's the end of my presentation, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ricky. Very interesting application of AR technology to build an interactive world. And thanks for the reflection on the current situation with coronavirus. That's very, very relevant. Now, as you were talking, some questions have come up on Q&A, so please take a moment to have a look at those. And we will move on to our 6th and final presenter. If you could get ready, please. Okay, we've got Actuel Digital Limited from Hong Kong. Please, can you share up your slides? And you have 5 minutes.
Thank you, David.
Drop onto full screen so we can see. There we go. Thank you so much. Okay, over to you.
Thank you, Derek. And actually, hello everyone. I'm Keith, and this is my colleague Patrick, and we'll do this presentation together. So first of all, we are representing Herleto by ActiveWell. We're a Hong Kong company that provides products in helping working parents to stay healthy and be readily available while dealing with their work and family issues. And actually, we are especially targeting the working mothers. And these are some of the topics that I will talk about today. So first of all, why are we targeting the working mothers? Actually, we did a focus group, and we found that working mothers are typically concerning issues like stress, anxiety, and obesity. Like a study have indicated that they are between 80% to 40% more stressed than the others actually. So we can see that the stress of the working mothers is a serious problem that have been ignored by the society. And also, they're concerned about health. Like they always want to be healthy enough to be reliable, to be always available, no matter for their family members or for their coworkers. But the major problem that they're facing is that they don't have the time to keep their own health. So with our products, actually, they can manage their time more efficiently while adjusting or improving their mental and physical wellness. Like they can relax or detox their stress during the commute using the right music chosen by our devices. Or they can, our device can coach them for a short walk for de-stress and fat burn while they are going to lunch, work, or home. And I'll explain these functions in details in the next few pages. And about our company, actually, we are combining technology and sensing. So all of our products will have the sensing functions. For now, we are intends to use the sensing function in choosing the right music for a relaxation mode and also a power walk exercise, which guiding by our AI DJ to adjust no matter for your mental and also physical wellness. Like in the past, we have Haraleto 1, which is for stress, relaxation, and also fitness coaching. And for now, we're doing the Haraleto 2. And in the future, we have the Haraleto T and Haraleto R2K. And Patrick will talk about it later. And for my part, I will mainly focus on our newly product, which is the Haraleto 2. And as I've mentioned, it's a wireless version of the Haraleto 1. And when speaking of the Haraleto 1, it has won an award of German Design Award in 2017. And also it has been successfully launched on the Amazon in 2 years ago. But the major problem of Haraleto 1 is that it can only compatible with iOS system. So in this year, we upgraded into a wireless version, which can compatible no matter with iOS system and also the Android system. But the functions of these two products are basically the same. Both of them are for stress, relaxation, and fitness coaching by the following two modes, which are the relaxation mode and also the power walk mode. And each of the mode only requires 15 minutes to finish it. And I'll first talk about the relaxation mode. Actually, we do machine learning, like our device will assess your heart rate variability, and which known as the HRV. And a lower HRV would means that actually you are more stressed. So after received your HRV response, we will reflect your stress level by comparing your HRV response to the other people within your age group. But there's no point to just know your stress level, right? So actually, our AI DJ will smartly choose the correct types of music for you to de-stress and also for you to relax. And based on or after learning about your HRV response, and when you're listening to different types of music, we can identify which of the musics are suitable for you to relax or to de-stress. And the next mode will be the power walk mode. Actually, our device will guiding you for a short but effective fat burn walk. And your pace and your speed are actually customized for preventing overloading your heart. And actually, such kind of comfortable short walk is actually good for stress reduction as well. Like a 15 minutes walk actually can burn 60 calories. So what does it mean actually? 60 calories is equal to the calories of one Starbucks tall latte with long-fat skimmed milk. So by knowing how much calories that you have burned when you walk through this 15 minutes walk, actually we hope that we can provide more motivation for the working mothers of how to manage their health more efficiently using this customized walk program. And I'll pass the time to my colleague Patrick for some summary.
Okay, just to recap what a little bit the highlight. To summarize, the product itself that can offer very unique features. Haraleto, as a product name, has a range of products. The first one was Haraleto 1, which is iOS based only, and the Haraleto 2 will have the wireless as well as Android oriented AI program. Now, the importance of this value proposition is not only to address the issue of the working parents, but it would allow us to expand the feature package in the future, temperatures, respiration rate, as well as the fatigue level. Now, allow me to explain a little bit the temperature, respiration rate, and the fatigue level are basically associated with the symptom of a COVID-19 patient. So if we are able to pick up the temperature of the individual by using a pair of headset, it will be a fantastic features for a number of applications. Now, as we speak, we are already developed a program where we are already to start a clinical trial of this temperature measure and respiration measure features in a special device. Hopefully, by end of this year, we will be able to put up a engineering sample that can allow us to do mass production early next year. As we speak now, Hello 2 is a wireless version. This will offer extra benefit to users to at least allow them to relax. And then at the same time, our AI DJ will assist the user to pick up the right song to make sure that they are effectively using the features. We hope that by presenting this highlight to the groups here and potential interested investing parties, we want to ask for more attention or even comments or even collaborative opportunities. As we speak, the temperature version has already attracted a couple of inquiry locally in Hong Kong. They are actually the KGAP service provider and also local delivery service provider. The reason that they come to ask us is that they want to use the temperature measure to monitor the service provider in specific times, so that when they deliver the service to clients, especially food service or courier service, they want to make sure that these drivers or pizza men, put it this way, don't have temperatures. If they don't have temperature, that means that they are more than 95% COVID free. Okay, so this is something that we are trying to spend efforts on, and we will try to push that through as soon as possible. Okay, so that's the end of our presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you very much. There's a question come up. Since you're the last presenters, guys, you can answer this one directly. The question that come in is your strategy for collaboration with manufacturing partners. You can see that in the Q&A window. Do you require some dedicated hardware components or some manufacturing?
Well, we do have a couple options available, but apparently this is not our core at the moment, because the product itself will require two levels of complications. One is on the AI DJ app related capacity, and the other one is on the miniaturization of the manufacturing capability. So we have identified a few top-notch apps developer, but the challenge to us is on the miniaturization, because we are not a manufacturer ourselves. We are a product creation company. We are lucky to have already got a very reliable apps developer outside Hong Kong. I can't tell where, but very, very good. And then the challenge to us is on the miniaturization, because we try to stuff the electronics, very tiny electronics, into the earbud of the headphone. The tiny earbud is perhaps 5 mm in length, about 2.5 mm in diameter. We have to stuff the emitter and the sensor in that little tunnel. Meanwhile, it doesn't affect the acoustic performance of the product. The reason that we chose the headphone is that we don't want user to adopt a new set of user interface. They just put it in the ear, automatically detected by the apps, automatically visible and demonstrable on the display of the headphone, of the iPhone or Samsung phone. So they got everything on the screen. It's very user-friendly, and then they don't have to think anything. Okay, so that's the idea. Now, we are very sure our heart rate variability technology and software algorithm are pretty reliable. We are now on the final correlation stage to confirm the temperature measure are good enough, because especially in China, the variation or the tolerance of the measure cannot be more than 0.2 degrees Celsius, plus minus, okay? So this is only a bit of technical challenge, but the challenge to us is not on the manufacture, is not on this technicality. The challenge is on the miniaturization. Now, that is on the development process. To us, the next challenge is because we are small, we're not able to sort of go to target customers because these things is quite tricky. This is not a B2C type of products. This is a kind of B2B to C, okay? So we are hoping that we are able to hook up some call centers, for example, in Bangalore, in India, because they got these call centers, right, running 24 hours, right? If operators sitting, you know, back to back, if one of them got temperature or got infected, whether it is the corona thing or it's normal flu, the whole team in that room could be affected, right? Now, and then the next thing is, you know, we can measure the oxygen level of the individual, which can determine the fatigue level of the individual, okay? So respiration rate is also another measure. Now, if you look at this, the list of the affected individual or the patients due to COVID-19, the top will be the temperature. The second will be the breathing, the breath. The short breath is one of these common symptoms. Dry cough, fatigue. These 3 or 4, 5 things are the major symptoms that can be determined by a doctor or a healthcare professional. Okay, so we try to spend and speed up the effort, but the help that we may need is to how to commercialize, how to launch the product with the right carrier. That will be the major challenge to us. Okay, for example, say in the past, right? American Express, they have this call center, and this call center could be in Guangzhou, this could be in Bangalore, this could be somewhere. So if this call center, you know, one of these people got sick, right, so to speak, and then the whole call center will be sort of affected, and perhaps the service cannot be continued. This will create tremendous economic disadvantage to the operators, right, or to the service providers. We are now engaged a couple of companies in Hong Kong. Just confidentially, we can share here. We are approaching Lala Move. We are also talking to Hong Kong Techs, okay? Because perhaps if you live in Hong Kong, David, you know that, you know, in the past few days, a couple of taxi drivers got infected, you know, from God knows where, right? So if these people have their own self-monitoring system, even the management or himself can tell that, oh, I better stop doing this shift, right? If I don't feel well, okay? And this is a simple earpiece. They can use it for PA, they can use it for phone, they can use it for phone call, etc., etc. So the measure will be taken automatically when they do their jobs, okay? So we try to combine things without putting too much burden on them.
A really good case study, Patrick. Thank you. As we've been discussing, some more questions have come up. In the interest of time, we will arrange, you can take a look at the questions right now, but we will be connecting those who are posing questions with companies by email after the presentation, so you can follow up directly with them.
Well, just allow me, if possible, to answer the last questions, because people ask whether the AI DJ select appropriate song. The simple answer is yes. The more that you use the device, the more the machine can learn your listen behavior, okay? By listening to the right music, your heart rate variability will vary a little bit. By measuring the variability, the machine can tell whether you are in relaxed mode or you are in a very anxiety mode, because that database is a personal one, okay? And then actually, this personalized database will allow you to maximize the benefit of the whole thing, okay? Of course, back to the temperature thing, it can be used also collectively, because if you have all the data coded by, say, employee number 1 to employee number 10 in the call center, it will not infringe any privacy matters, but, you know, the manager in charge can tell whether the temperature of a person are within the normal working range. Okay, if one of them got sort of pops up, on the limit, then follow-up actions have to be taken immediately. Okay, so
thank you so much, Patrick. That's great. Just conscious of time moving on, I can see some people have to move to their next appointment. So let me wrap up there. Patrick, wonderful presentation. Thank you so much for the energy at the end of the 6 presenters. And for all of the other presenters, thank you so much. Please do check any questions that may have come up for you in the Q&A. You can see at the bottom there's a little notification if there are questions there. I've thoroughly enjoyed listening to the presentations. It's been a long journey for us in this particular part of the KGAP Plus program to bring together companies based through Hong Kong. So it's very gratifying to hear about the wonderful solutions and also to see the positive feedback that the companies have been getting through the Q&A channel. And I'm sure that will continue through individual discussions after this event. With time in mind, I think it's a good opportunity for me to hand back over to the ATR team in Kyoto. Maki, are you there?
Yeah. Thank you very much, everybody. Yeah, we had a great pitching today. Yeah, we will select probably 2 companies and invite them to the finale of the special edition. It will held on the July 29th. Not only Hong Kong, others from Japan, Canada, India, Israel, and Barcelona will join. So please don't miss it. Link to registration will be shown in the thank you mail you will receive shortly. Yeah, again, thank you, David, and thank you, the company, and also thank you, the audience. Thank you for joining us today. Stay safe and healthy. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.